by popular request, let's talk about our paint fabric. In the simplest terms, the base of our fabric is silkscreen, which is coated in acrylic paint, which dries, trapping the silkscreen, creating a sheet of durable dried paint. What makes this method notable over, say, painting on canvas is that the mesh of the silkscreen allows our acrylic paint to not only seep through to the other side, but to somewhat be held in place, meaning that you can plop down areas of color and have them show up on one side of the fabric and paint a more detailed composition on the other if you choose. For my first piece of fabric, I made a pretty simple marbled gray pattern as a proof of concept. But this time around, we're going to go a little more extreme and start by creating a basic composition with paint smears and then paint some details on top of that. And then we'll use paint markers to add the finishing touches once the fabric is fully dry, which honestly might take a while, but you seriously don't want to rush it. If you try to peel the fabric up too early, you'll end up with holes in your fabric and sadness in your heart. We're a full 24 hours older, so it's time for my favorite part. Peeling the fabric free from the plastic sheet that was previously coated in Ease Release 200 to make sure that the fabric would come free without too much fuss. Now that our painting has been sufficiently fortified, it's finally time to pillow it up. I think the fact that we can run this fabric through the sewing machine without damaging it or slicing it with the sewing needle really speaks to its durability. However, its lack of breathability and general uncomfiness means that this technique will likely always be relegated to a fun novelty, like most things that I do. Now this pillow painting needs an anchor, and by golly are we gonna get one by way of a teeny tiny little home, sculpted out of none other than my favorite two-part synthetic clay, epoxy, which is as close to owning a home as my avocado toast snorting millennial self will ever get. And guess what? Not only is it a tiny house, but it's a button too, because life sure is tough, so our pillow should be too. That joke doesn't really work unless you know that stitching all the layers together to hold the stuffing in place, creating a dimpled effect that is often finished with a button, is called tufting, which would make this a tufted pillow. But we're just gonna move past that, because look at that! Now we have an art piece fit for a nap. Feel free to follow along for more innovatively silly techniques and projects. I hope to see you soon!